So again, you don't need to draw 27 sides. Okay? All you need to draw is the what? Yeah, just draw the reference triangle. So if we look at this triangle, and again, it's not necessarily going to be to scale, but you want to draw it so that you understand the lengths of each side of this triangle are equal. So you have these isosceles triangles. And we know that this base is 3 centimeters. That's the length of each side. And when you look at your n value is 27 here. So you know that this is going to rotate. There's going to be 27 of these exact same triangles around here. So how are we going to find what the measure of this vertex angle is? Take our full rotation of 360, divide by the number of those triangles that are going to be formed around this center, this rotation, and we get, in decimal form, about 13.33. So this whole angle right here is 13 1/3, okay, which means, again, when we're looking for the pieces of information, we have our side length, S, we have our n value, 27. All we need in order to solve for our area, which is the formula 1/2 SAN, is the A value. Right? So we can plug in S of 3, leave a space for the A value, our N of 27. Okay, and so in order to find what that A value is, we need to identify A. The apothem is this altitude of this right triangle, or of this triangle that we've got as our reference. Okay, and so when we draw in our altitude, what's it going to do to that base? Cuts it in half. So this side length is 1.5. What's this altitude going to do to our vertex angle? Also going to cut it in half. So this is 13.33 over 2. So we can actually go in and calculate that. So we get 6.66. That's our angle measure here. And so now if we just use this right triangle, I know, again, some of you like to use law of sines as well, but it's probably easier just to set up and solve using a trig ratio. We have our angle measure of 6.66. We have our opposite side, and we have our adjacent side. So opposite and adjacent is which trig ratio? Tangent. So we can say that the tan of 6.66 continuing, which is, I'll abbreviate it, 6.67, is equal to the ratio of this opposite side 1.5 over the adjacent side A, and then just solve for A. So if we multiply both sides by A to get it out of the denominator, and then divide both sides by tan of 6.67, we isolate and solve for our A, and so we now have our apothem measure, 1.5 over the tangent of 6.67. And so now if we just calculate this value, we'll get our answer. Okay, and so if we calculate that 0.5 times 3 times 1.5 divided by the tangent of this angle, 6.66 continuing, again, make sure that you keep that exact answer, not an not an approximation, and then finally multiply by the number of sides, 27. Okay, and you'll get your answer, the area for this whole regular polygon, 519.75 approximately. The units are centimeters. It's an area, so it's a two-dimensional measurement, so we have square centimeters.